One of the most common scenarios for medical malpractice in the state of New York involves surgical mishaps, or what I would call surgical injuries. For example, the typical kind of case involves an operation which may be an indicated operation, but in the course of the operation, the surgeon causes an injury to some part of the patient's body that should not occur. For example, this may involve cutting an artery or other blood vessel, causes the patient to hemorrhage and potentially die. And this might arise in the course of even a very simple procedure, placing a chest tube or drainage tube. And in the course of doing that, one might see an injury to a major blood vessel in the chest, and this can be very, very serious and cause death. Other types of surgical mishaps involve cutting, perforating, lacerating areas of the body that are not really even involved in the surgery, or may be close to the area of the surgery, but need to be properly identified by the surgeon. In other words, the surgeon has the responsibility to properly identify the organs of the body that are being operated upon, and to avoid injuring adjacent structures, adjacent organs, such as, for example, in the course of doing a gynecological procedure, a surgeon might injure the bowel, cause a hole in the bowel, a perforation, might cause a perforation of the bladder. Sometimes these are just complications, but sometimes they actually result from the negligence of the surgeon in inappropriately failing to identify the structures that are involved in the operative field. And for example, when a surgeon perforates the bowel and then fails to recognize that they have done that, that can be a catastrophic result, because poisonous infective stuff comes out of the bowel, fills up the pelvis or the abdomen, and causes a terrible infection, which may result in lengthy hospitalization and potentially death. Other types of injuries may involve, for example, biliary tract surgery, gallbladder surgery, pancreatic surgery, where the surgeon who is maybe taking out a gallbladder appropriately clips the wrong duct or removes the wrong duct, or fails to tie off the ducts properly, and as a result, bile then continues to leak into the abdomen or leak into the chest and causes a peritonitis, serious infection, may cause a pancreatitis, which can be fatal. And these are terrible potential consequences, which we've seen in the state of New York countless numbers of times, and have handled many cases involving surgical errors of all kinds. Sometimes the surgery may be plastic surgery, or maybe reconstructive surgery on the breast. Sometimes people who have undergone mastectomy, cancer surgery, they undergo breast reconstruction, and the breast reconstruction is not done appropriately, or they develop infections which are ignored by the surgeon, and they wind up with terrible consequences which add tremendously to the anguish and mental suffering that they feel from the entire process of going through a mastectomy or double mastectomy, then hoping to have a proper reconstruction so that they can go about living their lives again normally, and then wind up with these terrible complications which have been ignored by the surgeon, and they wind up with another set of problems due to the reconstruction. So these are all potentially very serious problems that patients in the state of New York may suffer, and we have a great deal of experience dealing with these kinds of surgical issues, and also with the problems that people have to deal with when these kinds of things happen to them.